Sara, a curious and brave 7-year-old girl, lived with her mother, Emma, in an old abandoned house on the outskirts of town. The dilapidated structure, with its broken windows and creaky floorboards, had an eerie presence that both intrigued and frightened Sara. They had no choice but to stay there, as it was the only shelter they could afford. One night, as the moon cast ghostly shadows through the shattered windows, Sara was awakened by a faint whispering sound. Her heart pounded in her chest, but her curiosity got the better of her. She tiptoed out of her room, careful not to wake her mother, and followed the sound down the dark hallway. The whispers grew louder, echoing off the walls, leading her to an old, locked door. Sara had always wondered what lay beyond that door. She reached out with trembling hands and, to her surprise, the door creaked open as if inviting her inside. The room was dimly lit by the moonlight seeping through the cracks in the walls. In the center of the room stood a dusty, antique mirror. As Sara approached, she could see a faint figure reflected in the glass. It was a young girl, about her age, with hollow eyes and a sorrowful expression. The girl in the mirror seemed to be trying to communicate something. Meanwhile, Emma woke up to find Sara missing from her bed. Panic surged through her veins as she called out Sara's name, her voice trembling with fear. She searched through the house frantically, her mind racing with worst-case scenarios. The eerie whispers reached Emma's ears, and she followed them to the same old door. Pushing it open, she found Sara standing in front of the mirror, seemingly in a trance. Emma rushed to her daughter, shaking her gently. Sara snapped out of it, her eyes wide with confusion and fear. As they turned to leave the room, the whispers grew louder, now a cacophony of voices pleading for help. Mother and daughter ran back to their room, slamming the door behind them. Throughout the night, they huddled together, the haunting whispers seeping through the walls, leaving them restless and terrified. The next morning, as the first light of dawn broke through, Sara and Emma knew they couldn't stay in that house any longer. They packed their belongings and left, but the memory of that night and the girl in the mirror lingered with them. The abandoned house stood silent once more, its secrets locked away, waiting for the next curious soul to uncover its mysteries.